All right, everyone. The Nobel Prize goes to Maria Machado, actually, not Donald Trump. Leftists were very, very happy about that the other day. Very, very briefly. This is exactly what I wanted to see. When Machado won, she's the opposition leader in exile currently, I believe, in Venezuela, opposing the Maduro regime and is not in favor of the whole socialism thing, probably because it's completely ruined her country and forced her to flee because of political persecution. See, communists love to do that sort of thing. So she wins the Nobel Peace Prize for her activism in Venezuela against the sitting regime. Now, some conservatives came out very angrily and said, "Oh, Donald Trump should have gotten the award. Look at the peace deal." Don't worry, if the peace deal holds and expands, he'll probably get the next one. I'm just pointing that out. So that's number one. Number two, they could have given it to some wokester like Greta Thunberg. She was literally nominated, so she was on the list along with a bunch of other leftoid morons. Instead, they chose to give it to a figure who is very amenable to MAGA policies, actually. In fact, she's basically, and she's castigated by the left as being the MAGA of Venezuela. Now, in Venezuela, the opposition would be equivalent to like neoliberalism here in the United States. So it's not communism or socialism, but it's not exactly a right-wing ideology. This is not like Javier Malemo. But she did deserve the Nobel Prize. Anything that stands in the way of communism, in my opinion, is a very good thing. Then the leftists were cheering because Donald didn't get it. Oh, the Nobel Committee has redeemed itself, as though they don't make irrational decisions on a regular basis. It has happened before, like giving the Nobel Peace Prize to Obama for being black or half black. Yeah, I still remember that. Personally, I think that they should strip him of his Nobel Prize, melt it down, and turn it into a dildo, and then shove it in some leftoid's ass or something like that. Then she turns around, and the leftists have cheered for several hours, and she dedicates the Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. Now, this is funny on two levels. On one level, because the leftoids that were so happy that Trump didn't get the award all of a sudden started caterwauling about this. Oh, well, she wasn't really deserving. She's basically just MAGA for South America and stuff like that. Just petulant nonsense. It's funny to see, but it's still petulant, pathetic, and stupid. But that's what we've come to expect from leftoids, I think. Then, on the second level, it's also hilarious because not only are the leftoids crying, but the award was given to someone who is, according to the lefties in the United States at least, very right wing and so forth. Again, Venezuelan MAGA, and so they had like a nervous breakdown about this. Because I don't even think that many of them knew who she was when she got the Nobel Prize. The only thing on their mind was Donald Trump didn't get the award. And so he was rolling around on the floor, big fat baby, pooping his pants, and all of this other leftoid shtick that we've seen over and over again. The number of poo-poo pants jokes and small dick jokes and fat jokes is like, come on, at some point, you can get new material. You can probably find something to criticize about Trump. I know that I've got plenty, actually. But the way that you're delivering it just doesn't make any sense. So then they death spiral into a bunch of memes that make no sense. Typical leftoid memes. A wall of text explaining why the person that they were celebrating 5 hours before for winning the Nobel Prize out from under Donald Trump all of a sudden is a villain for having dedicated it to him. And she pointed out exactly the reason why. Well, he's worked to help the people of Venezuela. Yeah, he's been successful at this. We value this. Do I believe that the Venezuelan regime under Maduro is going to collapse? Inevitably, yes. Will it be replaced by something sane like a free market system with, various constitutional protections that can't be immediately undermined by whatever dictator happens to be in sway? No, I don't believe that that's likely to happen in the immediate future. Venezuela is a deeply troubled nation, which ran itself into the ground with oil speculation under Chavez. And Chavez's economic miracle that was heralded by the left, Vox, Sanders, all of these other leftoids came out years ago and said, "Oh, this is exactly what we should be doing in our country. Look, the standard of living has risen drastically." Yeah, because you were borrowing huge amounts of money expecting oil to continuously rise in price because you bought into the Green New Scheme bullshit, saying that there would be peak oil and then the amount would go down, and so it'd be like the ultimate cash crop, so to speak. And that didn't happen. Actually, the oil prices collapsed. They're still reason they're falling now, I believe, actually at the moment. Bad news for the Venezuelans since they appear to have not bothered to diversify their portfolio. This is, by the way, an economic lesson. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Venezuela has a large amount of very, very prime arable land. It doesn't just have oil. You could diversify into all sorts of things quite easily. All you have to do is give the impetus for that to happen. But no attempt has been made to give that impetus. What Machado and people like her understand is that you can't have you turn into a banana republic, only in Venezuela's case, it's an oil republic. You've got a lot of oil. That's great. It's a valuable export. But you got to diversify beyond that because the oil prices, if you put all your eggs in one basket, like let's say that I make $1 million after taxes. So we're assuming I have $1 million and I can invest it. Is it wiser to put all my eggs in one basket and to say, you know what, I'm just going to invest $1 million into oil stocks or something like that? I'm going to invest in Chevron. Uh, or is it wiser to diversify that portfolio and say, okay, I'm going to break this up into chunks of like 50,000 apiece. So I'm going to put some in a mutual fund. I've got some stocks, some commodities, some bonds, things like that, because things rise and fall over time. Ultimately, it's better to hold a diversified portfolio. If you ever find yourself in a position of wealth, you win the lottery tomorrow. Keep in mind the tax rate. Take virtually all of it and invest it in a diversified portfolio. You can do it yourself, by the way. You don't need an economic advisor necessarily. Disclaimer. This is not official investing advice. I am not a financier or something like that. I'm not an accountant. So this is my own personal opinion. It makes sense to diversify. Venezuela never did. What Chavez did, and Maduro gets the blame for it, ironically, even though it was Chavez that got the ball rolling, he was borrowing enormous sums of money, billions and billions of dollars, to give people dishwashers and shit like that, to make commie blocks and stuff like that, to artificially raise the standard of living of Venezuelans. Look at where it's gotten them. Socialism does not work. When Machado came out, therefore, and said, well, I dedicate this award to Donald Trump, immediately there was a meeting held. Because Trump was, I think, upset at not getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's an argument to be made for him deserving to have gotten the award. But it's sour grapes. The Nobel Committee does what it wants to do. And in the end, it didn't really matter. The leftoids are still upset because the award was dedicated to him. And oh, they're pissing their pants with anger right now. I mean, it's hilarious watching the salt flow. This person that they were adulating only hours prior, knowing nothing about her, not realizing as the socialists and communists that they are, that Machado is against that sort of thing. And then they didn't expect something like this to happen. Well, she's raised attention for her cause. Okay, so that's good. Trump gets adulation, including from a literal communist nation, from the opposition there. Leftoids are crying. This is great. This is a great day so far. I'm extremely happy with the outcome. I'm almost happy that Trump didn't get the Nobel Prize, simply because this is even funnier. Again, oh, hail Machado. Yeah, ha ha ha. You took the Nobel Peace Prize away from evil Donald, the orange man, the orange baby. Oh shit, she dedicated it to him? Oh, well, that fucking sucks. And then they go and they make their inane memes, so-called. Having a great day so far. That's about all. Peace out.